Hello and welcome to the Say Yes Movement podcast with Heather and John, where we help you with your professional and personal growth, helping you say yes to all the scary stuff. Hey, Heather, how's it going?
Good morning, John. Wow, you are full of energy today.
Yeah.
I love it. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. You know, I had an opportunity to let some energy out this morning. I did, I went back to the pool. I've been going back to the pool over the last couple of weeks. And today I finally hit my 1,000-meter mark. And I'm like,
Ooh.
yes, we talk about little goals, right? We talk about being consistent and just kind of staying on track. And every swim has been like, 700, 800, 900. And I'm like, today I got to do it. I got to just do my 1,000 meters, get back to where I was earlier in the year. And can I tell you, it feels good. Like just to have that, like just to feel that accomplishment is like, wow.
I love that. And, you've started your day off with that win. So, now you're going to stack wins all day long. Second one is that you're doing the podcast with me. Third one's going to be, bang, bang, bang. And that's the beauty of these wins and taking the time to celebrate them, because that's why we do this every single Friday. We are consistent, we are on point, and we look back on the week and we say, what was good about this week? What are we celebrating? Who are we celebrating? Not only for ourselves, but everyone around us. So just like every Friday, for all of those listeners out there, we want to hear what you're celebrating. Put it in the comments. Yeah. We'd love to call you out. We'd love to celebrate with you. And of course, if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, you can always direct message either one of us. We love, love, love hearing these stories, because people are saying yes to things that scare them. And then they're being shocked and amazed by the results they're getting, or the feedback they're getting, or the job promotion they're getting. John, we get to hear some amazing, amazing stories, but I'd love to hear your story. So what are you celebrating this week?
Yes, outside of my swim today, I am celebrating actually a few different things, right? So this week, just having an awareness of being able to serve clients in a different way, like using this platform to address some of the biggest challenges that some of my clients are facing in terms of just being consistent, belief, action, self-image. The other part is having an opportunity to work with new clients, right? Like being able to do clients this week and just working with them and understanding their issues and how we can get them to their goals and to the finish line. So super excited of having the opportunity to do that, to be in different places, to work with different people. I consider it a blessing, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. What about you, Heather? What are you celebrating this week?
I am celebrating community. I know we celebrate this a lot, but every time my community shows up for me, I'm filled with love. Like my heart is filled with love. And I was in Mongolia. There was a group of us that were traveling together, and we've all come back to our real lives. And it's been a tough landing, if I can be completely honest. Things are noisy. My email, it feels noisy to me. So there's a bit of an overwhelm that comes with that. And all of the participants of that trip are sort of having that same experience. And so there's been a lot of reach outs, a lot of video messages, a lot of, how are you doing, and touch points along the way. And each day that I get one of those messages or check-in points, it reminds me that I need to do the same for a couple people as well. And so, there's this circle of love that goes around this community. And it reminds me, when we have these shared experiences, do you create a community around that shared experience so that you can continue not only having the experience together, but also curating that friendship, curating that commitment, curating that connection together. And I want to say, everyone from the Wayfinders group, I love you guys, and I really, really am so appreciative of the support. And I needed it this week. I really needed it this week. And for someone that doesn't ask for help, it was really appreciated. So, and I didn't have to ask for it. That was the other beautiful thing.
Yeah, listen, I the one thing that I have implemented, something I've learned from you actually, is when somebody pops into your head, just send them a message, right? So this week has been a lot of that, right? So as people have been popping in, Sitting down and typing messages are great. Listen, text messages are great. But what I found has been more effective is just either sending a video message, recording, sending off a video, or even a voice message.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, like, the response rate is better with those two things, the video and voice, than it is with the text sometimes. So take that and think about how, if people are popping into your head, and I'm sure as we're saying this right now, somebody is like just popping in there. After this, or pause this, and if you're listening to the recording afterwards, pause this, send them a message, and just let them know you're thinking about them. It's really just that simple. It doesn't have to be anything super complicated. Hey, I was sitting here, you popped into my head, I thought about you for a moment, I just wanted to check in and see how you do. And then just leave it there. And what you find, and Heather, you're right, like 90% of the time, people come back, it's like, how did you know? Right?
How
Like,
did you know? Yeah.
I needed a reach out. How did you know? I was even thinking about you. And it's like, yeah, it's such a cool experience. It's such a neat exercise to go through. And it's so simple. And it costs you nothing.
It
Right?
costs you nothing. And the video piece is really important. So people might be thinking, John, oh, John, you make videos all the time. You're such an expert at this. And you do the podcast, it's easy for you. And here's what's really magical about the videos. Just do it in one take. Don't fuss about what you're saying. If you skip over your words, don't fuss about any of that. In fact, the people love you because of you, and they will love your vulnerabilities and your mistakes and your, bad camera angles. Sometimes I'm making videos and I'm walking through my kitchen and then my dog runs by. I'm like, oh, Loki wants to say hi too. And so I'll put the camera down on the ground. All of this is just really fun and authentic. So don't get fussed about, is it the best quality? Does it have to be TikTok worthy? No, it's just sending a message to your friend, to someone that loves you and cares about you. So if that is a barrier to you doing this, remove that barrier today. That is your say yes moment. And, normally we do the call to action later, and we'll probably have another call to action. But I think, again, the things that are going on in the world, if you turn on the news, you are instantly brought into devastating things that are happening around the world. And it's up to each one of us to create a barrier so that we can still feel happiness and love and give that as a gift to others. And that's how you do it. You just reach out.
Yeah. No, you know what? There's been a lot of messages online, just share love, share love. Like, they're talking about sharing love. And this is one of the ways you do that. You just reach out, right? And just let people know. If you don't like to use the word love, that's okay. But just let people know that you're thinking about them, right? Because sometimes what happens, and listen, I've been there, right? There's been periods where, like, I feel alone, like I'm by myself, like, where is everybody, right? And it's like, and then somebody says hi, right? And it's like, ooh, that's great. Right? Like, it's just, it's an easy thing to do. It's so easy and so simple that we don't do it because it's so easy. We want things to be complicated. We want things to be like, oh man, I gotta go through this process, and I gotta fix my hair. I gotta put on some, I gotta put on a shirt. I gotta send a video, like whatever. Let's just do it. So yeah, great call to action today, Heather. And this is just as applicable in the workplace, right? Like, if you are, if you have people that you work with, if you have clients, just send a message and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I was listening to, I'm part of the International Coaching Federation website. So I was going through some of their material. I was listening to a study about what happens to leaders in crisis. And when leaders or when there's a situation, there's a crisis, the team or the people around them just wants to know that the leader's invested with them. Right? They want the leader to be, using the analogy of the dance floor and the balcony, they want the leader to be on the dance floor and not on the balcony, right? Because what ends up happening in the time of crisis, leaders will retreat to their office to work with their other leaders, and then they're kind of like kept away from everybody else. But when you're in a situation of crisis, right? And I'm not saying that we're all going through crisis right now, but if you're in a situation of crisis, you want to be there right there with them. And sometimes all it takes is to do a little invitation and extension to say, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to check in on you. That would mean so. And I remember I had a leader like that years ago. It's like, hey, are you okay? Is everything good? And for the most part, yeah, everything's fine, right? But if you get asked enough times, at some point you break down. It's like, yeah, I'm not okay. We need to go for a walk, right? Let's go have a conversation. Because it's just knowing that somebody cares, right? And, sometimes we think it's inauthentic, right? Sometimes we think, well, they have to say that. They're our managers, they're our leaders. No, we don't have to say any of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I think, what you're talking about too is crisis is sort of an opening or a gateway to connection, because we have a shared experience that is so emotionally impactful for us that we then bond much better. And this is one of the reasons why I do these crazy trips. And I'll tell you, Mongolia and being outside for 10 days and very, very cold winter camping, all of us having the same experience, nowhere to go check your voicemail, nowhere to go, get warm for a little while, unless you're right by the fire. And so you bond over this experience. But things happen in the workplace, things happen in different scenarios, and that crisis is what can bring you together. But it's really important that you don't leave it there, that you curate that connection afterwards and that shared experience. So I love that, analogy, being on the dance floor. Leaders should be on the dance floors, and any leaders that are not on the dance floor are not spending any time making that connection. So what will happen is they won't get the results they're looking for, because they won't have the hearts and minds of the people. When you have the hearts and the minds of the people, even when you ask them to do hard things, they step up. Even when they don't believe that it's possible, they'll still try their hardest. And guess what? If everyone tries their hardest, even if they don't believe, their actions will trump that belief. And then before you know it, you've done it. And then they believe it. And then they're like, what are we going to do next? And they get super excited to be on the team. And I always love those moments where I push my team, I nudge them to do something that they didn't think was possible, no one had ever done before. And when they did it, wow, did they feel on top of the world.
Yeah. No, listen, I can even see the visual. It's like, we just did that. Really? Like, just that feeling of being connected just with everybody else. And even if you go through it and you fail, right? It's still a lesson. It's like, okay, we don't do it that way. We need to take another approach, right? Like, we just keep moving forward because we're all vested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you stay committed, right? This is how you stay consistent. This is how you stay in action, because that belief starts to build, right? Like, we talked about this on an earlier podcast. Your actions need to be bigger than your beliefs, and you just need to step in action. And this is the beauty about action, right? So the beauty of action is when you're in it, you don't think about anything else. Like,
No.
you're just focused on that one thing, right? And you don't have to think about, okay, well, this could go wrong. No, I'm not. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong or not. I'm doing it right now, and this is where I'm at, and this is what we're doing. And we're just moving forward with that. And there's something special about being present in that moment to say, you know what, here I am. I'm doing something I thought I could never do, but I'm going to try it anyways. And saying yes, and just saying yes to being courageous, saying yes to being strong, saying yes to being confident when you didn't even think you could be confident. That's beautiful. Wow. Talk about building and creating a new version of yourself, right?
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. Well, and I think, John, one of the questions that we ask ourselves, our clients ask us, we help people coach through is, why am I stuck? Why am I not able to take action? What's in my way right now? And, we call that resistance. Resistance just, it's like, if you think of a resistance band, it's you've stretched yourself to the limit, and you need to just let go a little bit of that resistance so that you can actually get that exercise in. So, think about it from resistance, and it's just you've put pressure on yourself, and you put pressure on a new way of being, and that's okay. That's easy to deal with. And the way to deal with it is to take action, and not these massive, like, I'm going to change everything about my career, where I live, everything. Those things are sure, you can do those things, but actually small incremental changes is what's going to get you to the finish line. And here's the other piece: take the decision out of the matrix. So imagine that you want to do any goal, and let's say it's working out, and you're saying, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week. take the decision away from your future self by
Mm.
planning now. So you're going to put it in your calendar. I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that becomes a non-negotiable. And the non-negotiable means that you don't have to fatigue yourself in the future for decisions that you've already made in the past, because your past self said you're going to do this. John, for your workout schedule, for your swim schedule, you don't think about it. In fact, you put some crazy ideas in place, like putting your workout gear, wearing it to bed, so that when you wake up, the only thing you have to do is put your running shoes on. I love this idea, because you knew it was going to be a little bit more difficult this week because there were some late nights, some extra candy for Halloween, some things that were going to take you off your game. And you're saying, nope, nothing's taking me off my game. I'm putting my clothes on before I go to bed. All I got to do is put the running shoes on. So you took the decision off the table.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's funny you say that. I'm like, maybe I should start wearing my swim trunks to bed. So I don't know how that's gonna feel, but yes, no, 100%. And it's those little hacks, right? Like, and that's what they are, right? They're just little things, right? Time blocking your calendar to make sure that you put certain things in there that you're gonna just get done. Whether actually, and I did it today, right? Like yesterday, I went through the exercise. I feel like my calendar looks like a Tetris board, but just fitting in, I need to send out an email here. So I just block out some time and send out an email. So this way, those things don't fall off, because they're easy to fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times do we create and know that we have a giant list of things that we need to do, but we don't do them because life just gets in the way. It's like, oh, okay, I want to go pick up groceries instead, right? Because there's nothing in this time slot right now. So there's little things that you can do. You can do your time blocking. You can prepare in advance, and you can step into the future version of yourself. Because who do you need to become? This is why you let go of the how, right? Because the how doesn't matter. The how is none of your business. It's who do you need to become on the way to your goal.
And how do you want to feel when you get there?
Right?
How do you want to feel?
Yeah. How do you want to feel? And the person with my goal, how are they going to feel? What kind of activities are they going to put into place to get to that place, right? This is why it's a different way of looking. It's almost like a reverse engineering, right? You reverse engineer the process. Like, okay, so a person who looks and feels and is right here in the future attaining the goal that they want, whether it's your career, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whatever it is, the person thinks and feels a certain way. And this is why the goal is important, because the goal helps and conditions you for that. As we talked about, even if the goal was right there, right? Like, what if, you had a big vision of buying a house, a bigger house for yourself, with, 4 bedrooms, whatever, whatever house that looks like for you. Maybe you're not ready for that house right now. Right? And you think about all the big goals that we're chasing. It's right now, we're not 100% ready for them. This is why we don't have them. Because if we were ready for them, we would just have them. They would be there. We would be present for them. Right? And whether it doesn't matter if it's your health goal, your financial goal, your career goal, you're just not ready for it. So you need to prepare and get ready for it. And start thinking about that person who's working towards that. What are they doing? Who are they being every day to get there? And a person for me, the Ironman is somebody who's in the pool twice a week. The Ironman is on the bike 2 or 3 times a week. That is who that Ironman person is. And I just need to be that person a little bit every day.
That's right. A little bit every day. I love that analogy, a little bit of the day. What came to mind as you were saying that is you're not ready yet. Think about if you're planning a vacation. And I love what I call vacation mode, because what happens for me, and I don't know if this happens for all our listeners and yourself, John, is just before you're going on a big trip or a vacation, your to-do list becomes only what's critical, and you're in massive action to get it all done, including packing your list, going shopping for whatever you need for your vacation. And because you're getting ready for something that you're committed to, that you've paid money for, that you're going to feel good when you do it. The same concept, and we can call it the vacation mode concept, or we'll come up with some good word for it. But that same getting ready process can be applied to any goal if you want to get massive action and get there faster and stay committed. Once you've bought the tickets for Bahamas, you're going to Bahamas.
Yeah.
So, you've got to get the sunscreen, you've got to get the swim trunks, you've got to get your work email sorted out. You've got to do everything that's the most important things. And that's another thing that trips us up, is that sometimes during our day, we're not doing the most important things, but we're doing the urgent things, the things that are the noisiest. But think about and look at your day and say, am I doing the things that's getting me to my future state? And or am I doing more of the things that are keeping me right where I am today? And that question alone, just looking at your calendar and asking yourself that question, will help you find the time to take the action you need to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So do you just want, I want you to reiterate the action call for today, because I can't believe we're already at time, but what is the action call for everybody who's just popping in and listening to the last part of the podcast?
Yeah, today is all about connection. We want to make sure that you are reaching out to someone in your life that has influenced you in the best way possible, and celebrate them. Tell them something that has really made them successful. But this is a two-parter, John, because we are talking about taking action. So not only are you going to take action to reach out to someone else, but I also want you to think about, how do you want to feel as your future self? And just write down one word of how you want to feel in the future. And then over the weekend, what's one thing that you're going to do to actually activate that word for you? So if it's joyful, you're going to go play, you're going to dance, you're going to play with the kids, something that's, if it's health, you're going to go walk around the block. Like, that's it. Just one small activity that will honor your word.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Great actions and a great way of being. And listen, we're looking forward to your updates. So make sure you pop them in. You can always send us a message on our social channels as well, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever you're watching this, even on Twitch. So definitely share that with us. Listen, we're always open to just understanding what you're going through, so we can help and offer you more. So that wraps up this episode of the Say Yes Movement podcast. Just remember, when you shift your mindset, you shift your life. Wishing you all a great one. Talk to you all soon. Take care.